In today's world, wow, it feels like we're just constantly bombarded with information, visual inputs from everywhere, right? Sometimes it really does feel like you need a personal air traffic controller just for all your screens. And like in many places, especially commercial spots, that's not just a feeling, it's a real need. So for today's deep dive, we're zeroing in on a really fascinating piece of hardware. It's from HDTV Supply's WolfPack family. Specifically, their 4K 30Hz 4x4 HDMI Matrix Switcher with video wall capabilities. Our mission? Let's try and cut through the tech talk, unpack what this thing is, how it kind of acts as a shortcut to managing these, really complex AV setups, and maybe uncover some surprising things it can do for everything from, say, a busy sports bar to maybe even your own ultimate home theater.
Yeah, exactly. And this isn't just about plugging things in, right? At its heart, this technology is about intelligent distribution. It's about transforming visual and audio signals. It lets you create these truly dynamic, sophisticated setups that can handle almost anything you throw at them. It's like conducting an orchestra of screens.
Okay, let's unpack that term then. HDMI Matrix Switcher.
When we say that, what are we really talking about? Can you give us the basics?
Right, so think of an HDMI matrix switcher as like a central hub for all your video and audio. It lets you take any of your HDMI inputs, could be a Blu-ray player, game console, cable box, whatever chap, and send that signal to any of your HDMI outputs. TVs, projectors. You can even send one source to multiple screens at the same time. Now, this specific WolfPack model, it's a 4x4 configuration, so 4 inputs, 4 outputs. Pretty straightforward there.
So it's more than just a splitter or a simple switch. It's like the brain giving you strategic control over everything visually, lets you adapt instantly. And you mentioned something about it being built on a larger chassis. What's that about?
Exactly. That's a really interesting point. This 4x4 system, it's actually built on a much larger, highly configurable 16x16 modular chassis. What that means is, well, it gives you huge flexibility for the future. You can expand it, change the setup if your needs change. So, your initial investment isn't just locked in. It can grow with you. It won't become obsolete quickly.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, here's something I think everyone listening has dealt with. That really frustrating black screen or that glitchy flicker you get when you switch inputs on your TV. It just pulls you right out of whatever you're watching. How does this system deal with that common headache?
Ah, yes. You've hit on one of its most compelling features, seamless switching. This system boasts a really fast, like 100 millisecond switching speed. That's just a tenth of a second. What that means for you is instant, clean video cuts. We're talking true frame-to-frame switching. No glitches, no black screens, no blue screens, absolutely none. Which is, a huge difference from typical non-seamless switchers where you might wait several seconds. In a live setting, that feels like forever.
Wow, okay, 100 milliseconds. That sounds like a total game changer, especially for live events.
Yeah.
But how does it actually do that? How does it achieve that fast, clean switch? Is it some kind of digital wizardry happening inside?
Well, there absolutely is some clever processing going on. The WolfPack's advanced processor, it intelligently handles all those complex digital conversations between your sources and your displays. We call them eat 8 hops and HDCP handshakes, basically. The display telling the source what it can handle, and the copy protection stuff. By doing these negotiations concurrently, sort of all at once, it avoids that typical waiting game you get with other switchers. It's kind of like having a dedicated translator, making sure everything syncs up instantly. Uses a frame buffer, sets the output clock timing just right. It all adds up to the fastest possible output.
Okay, that concurrent processing, that rapid syncing, I can see how crucial that would be. Like in a sports bar, multiple games, you can't have delays. Or at a big business presentation, right. Every second of a smooth transition matters. Now, beyond just switching sources around, you mentioned this unit has a built-in video wall processor. That sounds pretty high-end, like those giant screen setups you see in airports or fancy shops. Does this give you that kind of power?
It really does. That's a key feature. The built-in processor lets you create these highly custom video wall layouts. So, for instance, you could take 4 standard TVs, right, and configure them into a 2x2 video wall. You could show one huge single picture across all 4. Or you could show 4 individual pictures, one on each TV. You could even scale up. Imagine a 3x3 wall with 9 TVs, one massive image, or 9 separate ones, or even show the same content on multiple video walls in different parts of a building.
That video wall flexibility sounds amazing for creating really eye-catching displays. But are there tricky parts to setting that up usually? Does the system make it genuinely simpler?
Yeah, it's designed to really simplify things. The number of video walls you can make is basically just limited by how many output cards you have in the chassis. And for even more options, there's an optional card, an HDMI multi-viewer quad view card. What that lets you do is show 4 different video sources on one single large display, like a big TV or a projector screen. So you can consolidate a ton of visual info, all nicely controlled onto just one screen. Super useful for like monitoring situations or where space is tight. And all this capability, it naturally brings up a really important question. What happens if something goes wrong, with a system this central? That's where its modular design is, well, frankly, brilliant. The system uses these 4-port slide-in cards for both inputs and outputs. And the crucial thing is this modularity makes it incredibly reliable and easy to maintain. If you lose signal on one port, you don't ship the whole box back for repair. No way. You just replace the specific card. Simple. It even supports hot plugging, which means you can swap cards while the equipment is still running. Minimal disruption.
Ah, okay. So it's like building with high-tech Legos. You can just swap out a faulty piece without tearing down the whole thing. That makes a lot of sense for reliability. What about power? That's always a weak point, isn't it? Needs to run 24/7 sometimes.
Precisely. They've thought of that too. For the card cage matrix, it actually includes a redundant power supply system. So you can run with 2 power supplies working together or have one sitting there as a backup. Basically, it guarantees the matrix won't shut down just because one power supply fails. This focus on reliability, it isn't just a nice-to-have feature. It's peace of mind. It tells you this is built for continuous high-pressure operation, minimizing that costly downtime.
Right. Reliability is key. Now, we've talked a lot about video, but it's not just about the picture, is it? Sound and making sure the resolution matches up, those are critical too. How does this WolfPack unit handle the audio side and keep everything looking sharp?
Absolutely critical. Yeah, so one really neat audio feature is what they call separate embedded audio in and de-embedded audio out. This means you can actually take audio from a completely different source, maybe a separate mixer or microphone feeder, and embed it onto the HDMI signal using a standard 3.5mm jack on the input card. Then, on the output side, you can pull that audio back out, again, separate from the HDMI audio if you need to. It gives you incredibly flexible audio routing. You're not tied to the audio coming from your video source. And for making sure the picture looks right everywhere, it has hardware scaling via DIP switches. These are actual tiny physical switches on the input and output cards themselves. They let you manually set the output resolution, basically. You can upscale or downscale the signal. This ensures your picture always looks crisp, clear, and fits the screen properly, regardless of the source resolution or what kind of display you're sending it to. It forces compatibility.
That manual scaling sounds like a real lifesaver, especially if you're mixing older gear with newer screens, or vice versa. And speaking of compatibility, is it ready for all the modern content protection hoops we have to jump through? Thinking about things like DirecTV, streaming sticks.
That's a very important point, and yes, it is. The system is fully HDMI 2.0 and HDCP 2.3 compliant. HDCP 2.3 is the latest digital copy protection standard, so it's essential for connecting to modern sources. DirecTV boxes, cable boxes, Fire Sticks, Roku, Apple TVs, you name it. But here's another cool flexibility thing. It actually gives you HDCP options. You can choose to either open or close HDCP compliance on each output card. So say you have an older TV that doesn't support HDCP. You might still be able to display protected content. Or the other way around, it offers maximum device compatibility.
Okay, so you've got this incredibly powerful, flexible box managing everything. How do you actually control it? Managing something this capable must require equally powerful control options, right? Especially in a pro setting.
Oh, absolutely. The control options are really expensive, which is great. For your standard day-to-day use, you get a free web UI just to access it through a browser. Easy. There are also dedicated iOS and Android apps for phones and tablets. Plus, you've got buttons on the front panel and a standard remote control. But where it really caters to professional environments is its integration capability. It comes with drivers ready to go from major control systems. Control 4, ELAN, URC, Crestron, RTI. So it can slot right into existing smart building or sophisticated home automation setups seamlessly.
That's a pretty comprehensive list. What about for the real AV pros, the integrators who want to get under the hood and write custom stuff?
Yeah, they're covered too. For experienced AV professionals who want to write their own custom drivers for systems like AMX, or maybe something unique, it provides an RS-232 serial interface. And the command structure is actually pretty simple. They give an example. To switch input 8 to outputs 1, 8, and 16, the command is just 888 and 16, then a period. That's it. Now, thinking about the bigger picture, especially for end users, maybe on a tighter budget for a big project, this flexibility means you can buy this powerful hardware and then hire a third-party programmer to write just the control software you need. That could potentially save you thousands compared to buying a completely bundled proprietary system. It gives you options.
That's a really valuable point. Separates the hardware capability from potentially expensive custom software integration.
All right. And you mentioned it also supports specialized systems like that DTV game, sports bar, direct TV control. So it's really tailored for specific demanding applications too. So who exactly is using this kind of tech? I mean, sports bars, obviously, we've mentioned them, but the applications must be way broader than that, right? Oh yeah, much broader. According to the info we have, the list is pretty diverse. Sports bars, sure, but also restaurants, bowling alleys, fitness centers, malls, places of worship, even data centers, gaming rooms, nail salons, country clubs, casinos, factories, conference rooms, schools, and yeah, high-end home theaters too. Yeah, basically almost any place that needs sophisticated, reliable, multi-source, multi-screen video routing.
Wow, okay. That is a wide range. And what about the physical unit itself? Is it massive? Noisy?
Actually, no. It's
Okay.
reasonably compact for what it does. It's a 3U modular chassis, which fits nicely into standard equipment racks. Dimensions are roughly 48 by 39 by 18 centimeters. And fan noise, which can be a real issue with powerful gear. They say this one's very quiet. Uses oil-sealed bearings. Plus, the fan itself is modular, so if it ever did need replacing, it's easy. Another nod to that reliability and maintenance focus.
Good to know. And for that extra peace of mind, what about warranty and support?
It comes with a solid package there. A 2-year WolfPack Care Advance Replace warranty and free lifetime telephone, chat, text, and email tech support. That's a pretty strong commitment after the sale.
That lifetime support is definitely a plus. Does it go through much testing before it even gets to the customer?
Oh yes, apparently quite a rigorous process. It starts with self-testing on the production line itself. Then they do initial testing of every single card and the control system. After that, it goes through a 24-hour aging process in a special room, basically a stress test to catch early failures. Then there's final function testing and a final QC inspection before it even gets packed up. So yeah, they seem pretty serious about making sure it works reliably right out of the box.
Okay, so wrapping things up, what does this all really mean? We've taken this deep dive into the WolfPack 4x4 HDMI Matrix Switcher, and it seems like it's way more than just a simple switch, isn't it? It's really a sophisticated command center for all your audio and video signals. Engineered for, well, impressive reliability, huge flexibility, and that really smooth, seamless user experience. Doesn't matter if you're managing dozens of screens in a packed sports bar or crafting that ultimate no-compromise home theater setup.
Absolutely. And if we zoom out just a bit, look at the bigger picture. This kind of specialized hardware really shows how we can orchestrate these complex visual and auditory environments, do it with incredible precision, incredible speed, and it fundamentally transforms watching something passively into a really dynamic, engaging experience. It's about more than just seeing the picture. It's about shaping the entire visual and auditory experience around you.
Makes sense. So as you're thinking about how this kind of technology works, here's maybe a final thought to chew on. If one single modular device like this can manage so many independent signals and create such intricate coordinated video displays, what entirely new forms of interactive or maybe even immersive visual experiences are just over the horizon? Experiences that are just waiting for this exact kind of precise, powerful control to actually bring them to life. What's next?